Yo, this is WSoul13 bringing you Raid Shadow Legends on a treadmill. And we're going to be talking about some main account stuff. So, if this is your first time tuning in to WSoul13's Raid on a Treadmill, well, what do I do exactly that's kind of like different from the other content creators? So I've actually managed an Endgame F2P account. It doesn't mean that I haven't spent money in Raid, plus the time I've invested into Raid that is worth nothing. So I've given a giveaway last year. I should have done another one for the 3rd year anniversary, but I was just a little busy this year. So maybe, I don't know, maybe we'll do a giveaway again when I find time to actually think about what to do it with. But I gave a giveaway last year, and explicitly I asked the recipient to spend it on Raid, so it's not like I haven't invested money in the game, plus the time invested in the game, 2 years plus playing. I don't see myself as quote-unquote F2P, but whatever. Technically, the account is F2P. And I actually haven't been playing the main account very much because I've been focused on like helping people learn how to play Raid Shadow Legends, and I haven't really done a lot of main account progression. And one of the main reasons for that is because I've already done hard Doom Power. So to me, I feel like hard Doom Power is the content in the game that I think F2P low spenders should consider to be the top tier achievement. So it's higher than Faction Wars. It's higher than Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss. I feel like for the F2P low spender community, hard Doom Power, a hard Doom Power 120 clears represents like the upper echelon of Raid. So why don't I include Hydra Boss in this? I think eventually we'll include Hydra Boss in this conversation. We'll include the Hydra Boss in this conversation eventually. And the reason why we will include Hydra Boss in this conversation eventually is because right now, I believe Hydra Boss is a little bit overtuned. And if you don't belong to a clan that is like actively trying to beat higher levels of Hydra Boss, I feel like it's a lot more restrictive to go in that direction right now. Things might change by the end of the year or next month, who knows? But for right now, I feel like the linear path for F2P low spender to put in their like end game tinkering to is hard Doom Power. It represents the highest level of challenge. The rewards are not the best reward. You get an avatar, you get some shards, It's not the best, but honestly, it does kind of like pile on over time. Because once you have a clear, barring parts where you have to auto or it takes a long time to finish, it's just a matter of time commitment to whether you can do it again and get the rewards again. So it's like opening up a brand new source of rewards for you, right? But what have I achieved with this account, with this particular rotation of Doom Power, is I have a 120 clear, and I have finally cleared all 12 secret rooms in one Doom Power rotation. So this whole session will just be focused on the secret rooms. Right, so if you want to see the hard Doom Power 120 clear and wave clear teams I used when I first did it, you gotta look at the channel to find that out. It's the hard 120 crossfighter video, and then hard 110 magma dragon, I think it's magma dragon for 110 here, right? And I encourage you to look for those videos because those stats I have on those champs are some of the probably lowest stats you'll see on a clear like I did. So the stats were very, very low. It's not like oh, you're just gonna put some campaign gear together and you're gonna get those stats. Obviously I had endgame gear on, but the stats were pretty low, to be real. Alright, so check those videos out. It's here in my channel somewhere. Let's go through the secret rooms for Hard Doom Tower and what you can do to try and beat it. What I did to beat it, you know. So here we go. Alright. So number one, by the way, this isn't the fastest team I'm capable of. These are just guys I put together on the fly. Once you get to a certain level of endgame, especially after you've beaten Faction Wars, it's expected that you're going to have maybe like 50 champs 6-star, 50 to 60 champs 6-star, or 70 champs 6-star, even as an F2P low spender. By the time you finish Faction Wars, you're going to 6-star a lot of dudes. And is that an accurate number? I feel like that's accurate because there's 14 factions right now. 5 times 10, 40. 5 times 10, 50. 5 times 4, 20, 70 max. Yeah, anywhere from 50 to 70 if you're gonna like get a 6-star for every single faction. A chunk of the factions you won't need a 6-star champ for every single slot because some factions are easier to beat than others. I have a faction war guide for every crypt. Just look it up on my channel. So here we go. This is, what is this? Epic champs only. So this is, I would rate this as an easy. You can clear this when you first start out in the game. Because you're going to have Broadmaw available, then whatever epic champs you've drawn up along the way that you decided to use as a carry champ or as a control champ, most likely carrier control. These are strong to bring in Doom Tower, and then eventually from normal Doom Tower you're going to get Acoth and Archmage Helmet, which are two very strong epics. Acoth brings HP burn for your win condition, and then Helmet brings control to keep the guys from retaliating. So I'd rate this as an easy. You can probably do that as soon as you get a 120 normal clear. I feel like this first secret room is pretty easy to do. Dark Elves faction only. So if you've cleared Dark Elves Faction Wars 121, that same team will probably get you to clear this secret room. Although I'm going to put a caveat to that maybe you can't if you didn't have Physics in your 21 team. So there are a lot of options here. Maybe I should move my face here just a little. What happened? Camera went away. For some reason, Raid won't let me use this camera app over it. Just put me in the middle right there, so you get to see my lineups. I should have done that for the epics. We'll do it for the epics real quick, just so you can see what other champs I could have used. So when I first did Faction Wars 21 for Dark Elves, Night Elves, I was gonna say night elves, dark elves. If you played Frozen Throne, you'll know what I'm talking about. I had Spider on the team, and I think I had Fan Cleric as my reviver. I think I fooded Fan Cleric, which is weird. I don't know why I did that. I actually ended up fooding him. But I did use Fan Cleric to clear it initially. But this room should be easy if you invested in physics. So, no questions asked. If you invested in physics the way I invested in physics for my hard Doom Tower runs, that room would be probably easy. Without physics, I would say it's probably like moderate to hard. Okay, so what's this one? I can't see the win conditions. Alright, so there we go. Better. So it's depth chance only. Okay, so for depth chance only, this one is also easy because you get Seal of the Drakes, physics, and Iron Brago. Basically just fill in the blanks with whoever you feel like. You'll be able to clear this room. So these first batch of secret rooms do have some very easy clears built into them, which should allow you to farm up your legendary fragments a lot sooner than you'd expect, right? Especially since it's the first 4 rooms. So 3 of the first 4 rooms. So if you're stuck at Hard Doom Tower 140 for this particular rotation, 3 of those first 4 rooms are definitely doable with a 9-month plus account, right? With some of them being doable like immediately after you clear normal Doom Tower 120. So what's up here? This is the Epic Lizardmen room. So this was the room that it only took me till now to finish. So who's the MVP here? The MVP here is obviously Broadmaw. So Broadmaw brings control in his A1, brings some offensive buffs, increased speed, and I think increased crit rate. And then he has the revive with a block damage on them, so the people you revive can take a turn and actually do something. So I finished it with 2 level 40s, 1 level 50, 2 6-star chance. I mean, of course, Jareg, everybody knows he's one of the best epic lizardmen out there for just general content, because he brings ally protect, healing when you get, I think, hit with a critical hit or something like that, and then decreased attack. It's always useful to have, although you need to pick which target it goes on, because this is a wave clear room, it's not a boss fight. So some champs won't use attack as their damage dealing stack. But yeah, this is a great kind of like exercise of your team building skills. So what I did here was I used Aox. I think Aox brought a Doom Tower accuracy aura 60. So that gives me a little bit more accuracy across the board, so I can build for more HP on the guys that want to land debuffs like Venom Mage and Aox, you know. So all around, I feel like if you just build your teams for the content that you're gonna beat anyway, like Faction Wars and Hard Doom Tower Waves and Dungeon 25 stuff or Dungeon 20 stuff, for the most part, they can perform in Secret Room 4. So where exactly do I use Broadmaw? Just Dragons 20, that's it. I don't use them anywhere else. For a new player account, so for the new Game Plus mode only that I'm doing right now, is the only place that Broadmaw actually has any purpose. And I think, what's this guy? His name, I forgot his name. Jizzo. So Jizzo, I had him 15 a while ago. How am I doing? Alright. So what I'm doing right now is called Zone 2 Cardio. If you guys don't know what that is, it's roughly 180 minus your age. That's your top number your heart rate, and then the bottom number is 90% of that number. For me, I'm 35, so my top number is 145, bottom number is about 130, 129, 131, yeah. So I'm like slowly working my way up to that. It just seems harder for me because I'm talking. So one sign that you're in zone 2 cardio is you're doing cardio, but you can talk clearly. So that's one of the signs of you're in zone 2 cardio, or not outside of zone 2 cardio, in the upper rate. How about that? Alright, so that's how I cleared that secret room with the Epic Lizardmen. I would rate that as impossible almost for most people to do, because most people just won't invest that heavily in Epic Lizardmen outside of maybe if you did Broadmaw first, or maybe you pulled Venomage or Aox or any of those guys there, and you actually use them in clan boss teams and stuff. So what is this room? This is the rare attack champs. So this room is actually not as hard as you think. You think, oh, I need to have 5 rares, 6 stars. This room is impossible. You don't actually need 5 rares, 6 stars to finish this room. So if you've been following my guide on how to play the game, you're going to start out with having a 6-star War Maiden and Kale. Most likely, not all the time, but most likely you would. That means that 2 out of your 5 slots here are already filled. And then you factor in that Cold Heart is one of the best champs in the game. Once you pull her, you're going to 6-star one. Doesn't matter if you already have a Fire Knight team, Cold Heart is just best in slot in Fire Knight. It can't be helped. So that takes care of 3 slots. Your next 2 slots, you're going to pick AoE rare champs, and then you're going to put stun set on them. That's it. That's the trick. And then you're just going to RNG through the room over and over again until you get enough stuns on everybody. So actually, the extreme version of this would be to put everybody on stun set, you know, and then kind of like maximize RNG in your favor. But I think in my case, I only have Dagger and Soulbound Boyer in stun set for this room. Kale and War Maiden are on Lifesteal set, and then Cold Heart is on Relentless set. So yeah. Like I said, the reason I'm not going through the stats of the champs is because they're built for other specific content in the game. So I'm telling you right now, if you build champs for specific content in the game, they can work in secret rooms. Pretty much no problem. There are specific ones like that one where you're going to build specifically for that room, but they also kind of have cross compatibility. Like in Faction Wars, Dagger does well there with Sunset. If I still use Soulbound Boyer in Barbarian Crypt, she would do very well there with Sunset. You know, so and the cross compatibility. Man, that's tough. Alright, support champs only. So for support champ only, once you get far ahead of the game, there's so many options here. So there's Lydia and Arbiter right there. And then there's Broadmaw. So that's like a base of 3 champs there. F2P, low spender type champs that you can get eventually that you can use to clear the secret room. So what is really the true reward of the hard Doom Power? And the normal Doom Power for that matter? It's not the shards. These shards these days are better left unopened. It's actually the champs. And for hard Doom Power, the prize here, unfortunately, isn't the first champ. So hopefully they buff Thea, because she is not a great first champ to have. She just doesn't do exactly what you want her to do, which is blow up waves with Hex on them. That's kind of what she was originally meant to be. But Euros, on the other hand, is your way to auto a lot of the bosses in Hard Doom Tower, like Scarab King. Basically, he can solo almost every boss in Hard Doom Tower. As long as you give him the right kind of gear for it. I think it's toxic set for him to do it. But yeah, that would be the prize for you. Would just be a way to streamline your Hard Doom Tower builds. So most of the boss fights you can auto. Alright, secret room number 7. So that secret room I would rate as easy, to be honest. Once you can get there, it should be a clear. What's this one? High Elves. Okay, so this is an example of my Faction Wars 21 team not being good enough to beat this when I originally had. So I would probably rate this as a very hard, you know, a hard to very hard. So you do have Arbiter, but a lot of people, if they have Arbiter, they're not building her to be tanky and for dungeon runs. They're building her with her fastest speed gear available. So you will need some kind of carry champ here, some kind of control element here to get through. In my case, I lean on Burgess and Apothecary, who are both on solo builds, and then Alexander and Royal Guard is there to deal damage as my win conditions. You know, so that's why this team was successful. It has 2 boss solo champ builds in there. But yeah, otherwise I think that room would be hard for anybody to beat. Okay. Epic Spirit champs only. Now we get to some specifics, right? Once the secret room gets really specific, like Epic Lizardmen, that's really specific, really hard to build. Or this one, Epic Spirit champs only, right? That's also really tough to build for. The good news though is you will almost always have High Katoon here as a first piece. And the speed aura is actually pretty good because it's the all battle speed aura. So anything else, you already have speed aura, you already have High Katoon. Now it's just a matter of who would be other champs that would be in the mix here. I think the other one I can think of is Grush, right? So Grush is right there. And then I think that's it. Jizzo is also there. So if you use Jizzo for the Epic Lizardman crypt, he would be somebody you could use here. But you know, not really recommended. There are some really good carry champs from the Epic Spirit slot. So there's Melga, of course, the one I'm using right now. Bogoth, another one I'm using. Sandlash Survivor is pretty good. Even somebody like Crimson Helm, who could be on a solo build for Bomo, she could be good in this room. So there's a lot of options there, even though it seems like there's not a lot of options because it's Epic and Spirit. But at least you for sure will have Grush and High Katoon there to build a solid foundation of a team. So I say that room is hard. Hard, probably very hard. Maybe more hard than very hard. And then what's this one? This one is Demon Spawn only. So Demon Spawn is actually really fun to build for, to be honest, in Faction Wars, because you have Dregstar, you have Tanix, who is a login reward that can heal, Tanix Hate Flower, and then you have Diabolus, which is actually one of the better speed boosters we have in the game. So I'd say this room is probably like hard as well. Once you get up here, like past the 6th floor for secret rooms, so past floor 60, I mean, the secret rooms, it gets really hard. Just the stats you need to build and all that. But this is a Faction Wars 21 capable team right here. Although, you know, it's a really strong team. It has Whittier in it. You could probably do it with somebody like, what's this thing here? the Wendarin champ. I forgot her name. But that would be a great champ, I think, to put in the mix. It pairs well with Drexar, so the HP burn and the heals. But yeah, you do have a basic champ there in Drexar. HP champs only. So this one, I think this one is probably one of the harder ones to fill out with. So eventually you'll get Euros here, which is kind of weird because you're going to need to be farming these rooms to get Euros. So maybe not really a great out. But, you know, this created monster is a standout that's still good today. He's an HP champ. Melga, HP champ. Hope is good here because she can take the buffs away from the enemy. Opardin is a fusion champ. So have we had fusion champs before that are HP? Yes. We have the Epic Fusion. What's this? What is that guy's name? I forgot his name. Spirit champ from Night Rev. Reskin of Coffin Smasher, I think. And then there's, of course, there's Opardin. And then there is Versailles. So we've had two fusion champs recently that could go into this room. So those are pretty good. This is why I recommend playing through the fusion events, because they just kind of like load you up with different kinds of champs with great base stats. So even if your kit is not top tier, it allows you to do content like this, like secret rooms, because you have those niche champs on your account. Yeah. So what is this? Epic Undead only. So I would say this room is probably impossible without Gorgo, I feel like. Without Gorgo or without Mausoleum Mage. So without any of the good epic carry champs for Undead, this is probably a lot harder to do than it looks. I mean, you could go out of your way and put people on Sunset and things like that. If you're building them for normal parts of the game. So for me, I have Bogoth in Curing set, and he's in for my Magma Dragon team and my Eternal Dragon team, I think. I'm not sure. And then Gorgorab is somebody from Fraction Wars. And then Dark Elaine is actually on damage dealing sets. She's on a Savage set for Arena, or 3v3 Arena if I need her there. But yeah, the fillers are obviously pretty good. You have Mausoleum Mage, who I used for some of my Seer comps before. So I think he's either on shield set or lots of speed sets just to put the buffs up. And then Husk obviously has the AoE slam with the stun on it, I think. It does a stun. So it's pretty good here. And the damage scales up because it's an enemy max HP damage skill. So he doesn't need to be level 50. It's kind of like an extreme version of that case. I have that level 40. He can clear that room. That'll probably be one of the harder ones to clear. Probably like impossible for most people. Alright, so we have the last one. Void champs only. This one is actually a slam dunk. It's easy. Once you have Physics and Arbiter, and then maybe even Lydia, it doesn't really matter who you pair them up with. You have Broadmaw as well, there's a possibility there. There's some rares here that are good. Bellower. Painkeeper actually is not bad here as well. Cold Heart, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's just so many ways to build this. This is one of the easier ones to do. I'd probably rate this as maybe like easy. No. It's probably like very hard. Alright. So what would be the hardest part of this room? The hardest part of this room is the last wave where you have 3 CPs. So it really cannot be just some random void champs. You need to deal damage here. So one good way to deal damage would be a Bellower. Another way to deal, because she puts all those debuffs on, helps control the CPs. Another good way to deal some damage here would be some Cold Hearts. Cold Hearts can have turn meter. Inquisitor Shamel's really good here for damage. Umbral is probably superstar here on manual because you can put the block buffs on, right? Broadmaw is not bad, honestly. because he brings some increased crit rate, so you deal more damage. So really, it's just about having boy champs that can last through the waves to deal damage. So that's it for Hardoon Tower Frostfighter edition of Secret Rooms 1 to 12. That's how you beat it. Eventually, I'd say maybe half of the tower is beatable without much effort, and then another 3 would require a little bit of effort, and then the last 3, I think probably the Undead, Epic Undead, Spirit Epics, and Epic Lizardmen. I think those 3 you need to really invest to try and beat those. So, you know, other than that, I feel like 6 to 9 out of 12 is not bad, especially if you're an F2P low spender. You get a chance to pull Euros eventually. The only problem is the other secret rooms, right? So we'll get to the other ones once I finish them as well. It's going to take me some time. But that's it, y'all. I'll see y'all next time.